Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here. I hope to find you all well. And today's video is my November TBR, and spoiler alert, this is probably the most calmest TBR video you're ever going to see from this channel. So with further ado, let's get stuck into this video and see what I'm reading this month. So, like I said, this is not a very chaotic TBR like all my TBR videos are, and it's pretty laid back. There is a complete massive theme with all the reads I want to read this month, but before I get into the books, I just want to quickly explain the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. So I have already got a video up, it's a little life update. I will tag it in the description just in case you haven't watched it, as I will do explain in that video what's going on. But basically there's a lot going on personally for me, and my mental health has been dipping up and down, and I've really been struggling reading. Like my October month, it was going so well, and then mid-October, literally within a 3-day span, 3 bad news happened, and I've been trying to not worry a lot, but I am one of those people, if I kind of have this moment where I might be able to not worry about it in that moment, but then a couple of days later it just comes crashing down, tumbling down, and I just get in a state. And that's what happened to me. I had one of my first ever and worst ever panic attacks in a long time. It was really late at night, so everyone was asleep, and I couldn't breathe. My heart was going 10 to a dozen. I got really clammy. I was shaking. I physically could not move. I was horrendous. And on top of all of that, and my mental health struggling a bit because I've been quite anxious over things, especially with my daughter, because she needs to have quite a few tests done because they found something on her brain. So I don't think they're thinking it's serious in the terms of a tumour and cancer, but it's serious enough to probably be the reason why she's got very little eyesight. So she has to have tests, she has to have an MRI, and because she's so young, she needs to be put to sleep. So with that, it's just a little bit like, oh my god, I'm trying not to think of the worst case scenario. I'm obviously trying to be calm for my daughter's sake, because I don't want her to get in a state, especially when we know it's happening but we haven't got any date. But I did receive a letter just explaining what tests she had and what they found, and it doesn't look very good. So yeah, that's going on. My grandma was in hospital. She is out now, but she's still very poorly, but at least she's out of hospital, and everything else. And basically I've just been really struggling with mental health, and I'm one who, when I struggle, I like to escape in books, hence why my name is my name like that. But I just could not concentrate. The books that I had to read weren't actually books I would have chosen. They were for tours, and I was just like, I can't do this. And with that, I also have been struggling a bit in regards to the pressure of reading. So I absolutely love my booktube channel, and I have no problems. I like what I do in my booktube channel. I post what I want to post and what I would like to see, and with that I'm fine with it. But my Bookstagram, it's just become a bit of a chore, having to do the correct photo, the constant editing, and wondering whether it's too plain or it's too chaotic, things like that. Bookstagram, especially Instagram, has really turned into they prefer reels because you get more followers and you get more likes and more stuff, and I do not have the time and patience to do a reel, which can take me about an hour because I'm useless at them. And it's just become a bit pressured on there, and I'm not gonna lie, I have about 10 reviews that I need to post on my Bookstagram, and I still haven't done it, because I just do not have the oomph or the energy to do so. And on top of that, I've been one of those people who I just say yes to pretty much every tour invite because the books sound really good, but then I kind of forget how many books I said yes to, and I've accumulated loads of books in 1 month, and then I'm struggling to fit in my TBR game. I'm struggling to fit in books that I want to read, and it is becoming a chore to read those books. And some books might be completely smashing in regards to tour wise, but some can be a complete flop. And with tours, if you can't give a positive review, some tours are put your review up but just don't tag them and the author. Other tours do not like it, and they sort of are very much right, pick the bits you like and talk about that, which, you know, fair enough, but I'm one of those people, I want to do an honest review, and I don't like the fact that I'm actually in hindsight lying a bit in regards to my feelings of the book. And on top of that, there are moments where I've been really struggling reading the books and trying to say, look, can I not be on tour? You know, some tours are a little bit on the tough, you have to do it. And I was just like, everything that's going on, I was like, I can't do this. So I ended up mid-October messaging or emailing every tour that I'm on and say, I'm really sorry, but I can't do this. All of this is going on. I just really need to focus on my family, on my mental health. And, you know, if I'm in a reading mood, I want to read what I want to read, not because I'm on tours and have to do this and that. So I'm no longer doing tours. For the remaining of this year, I'm no longer doing tours. I might restart them again next year, but if I do, I'm not going to do all of the tours I'm on. I certainly will drop one particular tour because I've had problems completely with them. When I told them what was going on, they were the only tour group that actually were not very empathetic over it. Like, their first part to me was, well, you'll still be tagged and you'll still be on to say you're on tour thing, and then literally a minute later they then posted saying, I hope everything goes okay with your family. And I was just like, it wasn't, you could tell it was an afterthought. And I thought, no offense, but I don't like disappointing people, but when there is something going on that is very important and worrying, be empathetic. So I pretty much said to them, look, you can do what you want, but I am not reviewing any books, so do not come and hound me saying I haven't posted a review when I told you I can't do it. And yeah, the rest of the tours that I've spoken to, they have been really understanding and really lovely. But this particular tour group, I'm certainly, if I do go back, I'm not going back with them because I just think they're very rude. So yeah, I'm not doing any tours. I'm not doing my TBR game. I wasn't going to do it the remaining 2 months anyway because I am thinking about doing a different TBR. I'm either going to revamp my Go Fish TBR game or do a complete different game. I am more leaning towards a complete different game because what I want to do I really like, and I feel like that game gives, like, what I want to do for that game will give me more of a mood read. Like, it will be prompts, but it will be constant same. Like, I would do all this selection of prompts for all these things, but it will always be those prompts every month. However, every month there will be a different book per se. But for me, it's just I get a chance to actually properly mood read. It's not a particular thing of, like, you know, read a book that's got metal on in the title or something like that. It would be like read an anticipated book, read an arc, things like that. So stuff that there's a prompt but I can mood read along to it, because I need to, at the minute, get back into enjoying my reading, and in doing so it has to be a mood read. It just has to be like a book that I fancy reading in that moment. So not doing the TBR game either. So with all of that, obviously I'm not going to have as many books as I would normally do. So I do have a TBR for this month. However, this TBR is sort of a loose one. So these are the books I really feel in the mood to read. But obviously, as November goes on, if I don't fancy reading that book, I'm not putting any pressure on myself. I will then just pick whatever book I fancy. But the books that I've got on here, I really am in the mood to read. And if you didn't get from the sort of outfit theme, there is a particular genre I've gone for, and that is dark academia. I'm really in the mood for some dark books, some dark academia, because in October I've read a few ghost books, and some of them have like quite a dark academia setting, and I'm just in the mood for it. Like, I'm still in the mood to sort of read spooky-ish books and all that. So I've got 14 books on my TBR. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books that I'm mood read, I'm in the mood for. I have 4 books that are for book clubs, and then I have 3 books that are for a readathon that I am participating in. So this readathon, it's literally just 3 prompts, so it's a very, very calm and it's like decent prompts. So I'm happy to do this readathon because, like, you know, the books that I've chosen are books that I wanted to read anyway, so that fits perfectly. And it's only 3 books, and it's literally the whole of the month, I think. I might be wrong. So in that sense, it's like very calm. I don't have to worry about it. Like, it's not competitive, it's not points or anything like that. It's just a nice little calm readathon that I really wanted to do because I really like the programme. So first up within the books, I'm going to start with the book club books. So I am in a new book club. So I've been watching Morgan. That was completely wrong. Morgan, I'll put her little picture here. And I've been watching her for about a month, maybe 2 months. And her channel is one of those channels that's so calm and so comfy. And it's just, her channel is one of those channels where I can just put in the background and just listen to her and read or watch her sometimes. It's just, I don't know, something about her channel is just so calm and peaceful, and it's so warm and cozy as well. And I've been obsessed with it, like constantly watching all of her stuff, even back like, you know, in years, like watching stuff like from years ago and all that. I just love it. And I decided, do you know what, I want to support her channel, so I decided to join her Patreon thing. And within her Patreon, she has a book club, which I think most Patreons everywhere else they do. So I was on Maddie Book Browsing Blog's Patreon, but due to personal reasons for her, she's no longer doing it. So I'm no longer on that. So because I'm not doing that, I had the spare money to go and join another Patreon. So I was like, I want to do Morgan Longs because I really like her stuff. And I'm so glad I did join a Patreon, because her Patreon only videos and some of the things she does are just extra cozy, and it feels like I'm having a warm hug from her. So I'm obviously participating in the book club, and it's my first time doing their book club, and honestly the book choices that she did were stunning. Like, it was so hard to pick one, but there was one particular one that I really wanted to read, and I was planning to read it for this month anyway, because it goes in with the Dark Academia vibes. So for Morgan's Patreon book club, we're reading The Secret History by Donna Tartt, and I am so excited to read this. This is the book that pretty much kickstarted Dark Academia, basically, and I want to see what the fuss is about. I also have another book, The Goldfinch, and I've owned that for about a year now, and I just haven't read it, and I don't know why. I think I've been a little bit intimidated by it. The same as this has always been a bit intimidating for me, because like I said, it's apparently the book that started Dark Academia, and it's like, ooh, like, will I like it? Because like, it's a bit older than some of the other Dark Academia books I've read, but I'm so excited to read this. It sounds really good. So I'll just read what it's about, but I'm guessing everyone probably knows. But it says, under the influence of the charismatic classics professor, a group of clever eccentric misfits at an elite New England college discover a way of thinking and living that is a world away from the humdrum existence of their contemporaries. But when they go beyond the boundaries of normal morality, their lives are changed profoundly and forever. Now, I know there's a murder going on, and yeah, just the little blurb things on here, it's like a very fast-paced, attention kind of book, and it's one of those ones where you think, like, you're thought-provoking, you're thinking about, like, all these things. Yeah, I'm really excited for this. It's got, by the sounds of it, it says it's got Creek Tragedian. I don't know what that means, but yeah, I love the sound of it, and I just like, it's got your proper, like, you know, your Greek thing that you get in Dark Academia. So yeah, I'm reading this and I'm really excited too, and I actually have got this on my borrowed box as an audio as well, because I thought it would be nice to listen along and read at the same time, just because it is like a modern classic, and I just kind of worry that there might be parts that might be a bit not slow, but I might just need a little bit of help by listening to it. I'm trying to work out when this was actually out, like first written. So it was first published in 1992. God, is that really? That makes me 2 years old when this came out, if that's true. Anyway, we're reading that, and I'm very excited to read it. Next, we are reading for my book club a Dark Academia book again. I was going to do non-fiction, because it's non-fiction November, and I thought, oh, you know, but with everything that's going on with me personally, I was like, no, I do not want to read something that's true events, because I just want something to get me out of my head. And so I ended up going to my book club members and said, how do you all feel about Dark Academia? Because they all were all rooting for non-fiction, and I basically changed my mind within like a day. And a lot of them were like, actually, it's like one of their favourite genres. And I was like, oh, okay. So I put a couple of choices on. So I put If We Were Villains up, I put Bunny up, I put The Secret History up, and I put Madam up. And it was literally between two, and at one point it was between If We Were Villains and The Secret History, and then all of a sudden this particular book just skyrocketed. It was like everyone just decided to vote right at the last minute. So we are reading for my book club If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio, and I'm very excited for this, especially this particular book, because I've got the special edition one, and it's beautiful. It's got black sprayed edges. I've got a little ribbon bookmark, and yeah, I'm absolutely vibing with this book. I love the end plates. Like, look, it's just like a proper dark academia book. It's signed as well, and yeah, I'm really excited about this one too. It is basically about a bloke called Oliver who served 10 years for a murder of one of his closest friends, a murder he may or may not have committed. On a day he's released, he's greeted by the detective who put him in prison. Detective Colborne is retiring, but before he does, he wants to know what really happened 10 years ago. So it's like obviously about what happened and whether, you know, it was him or not. But it is obviously set in a a university or something. Basically, Oliver was studying Shakespeare at an elite arts conservatory, and yeah, I'm really excited to read this one. I absolutely love the edition of this book. It's just proper to me. It gives me dark academia vibes just by the look of it. So yeah, we're reading this. I am very, very, very excited to read this. Again, the blurbs on the back of other authors, like mini reviews, just they sound promising. So yeah, very excited to read that. I also usually do my side along, which is my read along, which is my mass along. However, I am now really behind my Throne of Glass series. I've got Empire of Storms, Kingdom of Ash, and Tower of Dawn to read, and literally it should be the last book of the series this month. However, I have not read the 2 previous months' books because I've not had the time. So I have put out there because a lot of people who were participating were behind themselves, and I was like, right, I'm behind, what do you want to do? So I did say to them, did they want to start the ACOTAR series, because that's what's next, and start like now. But no one's got back to me to tell me whether they want to start it now or start it next year or what. So at the moment my mass along's paused because I'm not sure whether anyone's going to continue doing it or not. If not, then I won't do it. I'll just do it, like, you know, myself when I want to. So I'm not doing that because literally if I did still do it, I would literally have to catch up and have 3 chunky books to read, and I'm not doing that. So that's not happening. I'm also going back onto the book club of Phase and Gaze. I've missed a couple of months because a couple of books on there really didn't take my fancy, and I just was like, no, I'm not in the mood for. But this month's book club pick I'm actually quite excited for. However, I'm sort of at that bit. If I get to it, I get to it. If I don't, I'm not putting pressure on me because I have other things to do and I don't want to put a lot of pressure on me with everything that's going on. So my book club, I'm definitely going to read. Everyone else's book club, if I don't get to it, I don't get to it. But I do try and do the Patreon book clubs because obviously I do give money towards it, and so I want to make, you know, the money I spend worthwhile for me as well. So for Phase and Gaze book club pick for this month, it is Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. I've got the lovely edition and it is signed as well. Ta-da! And it's very cute on the inside too. So this is his newest release. Now, I'm not going to lie, I've got The House of the Cerulean Sea there, and I've still not read it, because when I started reading, I wasn't in that vibe. However, this sounds a lot darker and quite spooky. So I'm quite intrigued about this book. So if you don't know what it's about, I will tell you what it's about. It says, welcome to Sharon's Crossing. The tea is hot, the scones are fresh, and the dead are just passing through. When a reaper comes to collect Wallace from his own sparsely attended funeral, Wallace is outraged, but he begins to suspect she's right, and he is in fact dead. And when Hugo, owner of a most peculiar tea shop, promises to help him cross over, Wallace reluctantly accepts the truth. So it's basically following a character who's dead, but I don't think he realises he's dead, and he's obviously a ghost. And yeah, I'm very intrigued with this book. I think it's going to give me that spooky-ish vibes. I'm really into ghost stories at the moment. So yeah, this just sounds a bit more like something I would probably enjoy, and I'm in the mood for this one, so I'm definitely going to give it a go. But I do find, and this is a very unpopular opinion, I'm sorry, I do find TJ Kling's books a bit, I don't know whether it's his writing style, I don't know whether like the book, like with the House of Cerulean Sea, whether I was a little bit old for it, I don't know, it was just something about that book that didn't really do it for me. So hence why I haven't read it. I do want to read it because everyone says it's amazing, and I honestly think I probably will love it too. It's just when I first started reading it, it just didn't do anything for me. I don't know whether it was my mood or what. So yeah, I'm intrigued about this book. It does sound very interesting, something that I certainly think I'm going to enjoy. It just also depends on whether when I start it, whether it is my vibe or whether maybe I don't like his writing or something. So it's I want to read this, but we'll see whether I'm enjoying it. And then lastly for book club is Sydney's Patreon book club, which I do every month. So I must admit, I never read last month's book club, which was Misery, and like we had a buddy read along too. I never read that. So I definitely want to get back into joining in with the book clubs because lately I've sucked at it. But I'm really excited for this month's book because we're reading Leanne Moriety's new book, Apples Never Fall. This is actually the first book I'm going to ever read by her. I own pretty much near enough all of her books, but I still not read them because, you know, I buy them and then I read something that I've recently bought because that's who I am. So I'm excited to actually read this, even though like it's her new release and I could possibly have read like all of her others first. But yeah, so we're reading that for Sid's Patreon book club and I'm really excited. It is a thriller, and yes, I've been in my thriller moods as well. So I'm very, very, very much excited for that. I'm actually going to start putting them up here because then they're not in my way. So I am now going to go into the books that I have picked for myself. They're like mood reads, and we'll go from there whether I read them. But I honestly think I will. Certainly a couple of them I will read because I'm definitely in a mood to read them. But first up is Kingdom of the Curse by Kerry Mansicalco. This was on my TBR for last month, but I didn't get the chance to read it because, if I'm going to be totally honest, I wasn't in the mood. So I definitely want to read this because I absolutely loved Kingdom of the Wicked. It's one of my top books of this year, so I certainly want to go back into the world and see what goes on with Wrath and Emilia. And a couple of people I've seen do reviews, like I've breezed through them because I don't want it to spoil me. They said this is very steamy, like it's actually quite steamy, and I'm like, ooh, yes please. I don't know whether it's steamy in the sense of Emilia and Wrath, as something was going on in the first book, but it was there, but it didn't happen, and it was like, no. So I'm like, is it going to happen in here, or is it someone else? So yeah, like I am so excited for this. I honestly think this is going to be my first book I'm going to read. I'm currently finishing off Empire of the Vampire because I still haven't finished that as I'm filming this, and then this is going to be my first book for November because honestly I'm here for it, I'm excited for it, and I know I'm going to love it, and it's probably not going to take me long to read it either. So that's that. I then also want to read Mrs. Death by Selena Godden. So this is a library copy, as I was going to buy an actual copy for myself, but I've seen mixed reviews. Some people love this, some people don't, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to buy it just in case it's not for me. I've had a little flick through and it's sort of got a slight poetic tone to it. But yeah, I'm intrigued by this. But basically, it's Mrs. Death has had enough. She's exhausted from spending eternity doing her job, and now she seeks someone to unburden her conscience to. Wolf Williford, a troubled young writer, is well acquainted with Death, but until now hadn't met Death in person, a black working-class woman who shapeshifts and does her work unseen. Enthralled by his stories, Wolf becomes Mrs. Death's scribe and begins to write her memoirs. Using her desk as a vessel and conduit, Wolf travels across time and place with Mrs. Death to witness deaths of past and present and discuss what the future holds for humanity. As the two reflect on the losses they have experienced, or in the case of Mrs. Death, facilitated, their friendship grows into a surprising affirmation of hope, resilience, and love. All the while, despite her world-weariness, Death must continue to hold humans' fates in her hands, appearing in our lives when we least expect her. It sounds really good. It does say that it's quite poetic and lyrical. So, yeah, I've seen mixed reviews, and there's people who absolutely love it and people who don't. So I'm intrigued to see whether it's for me or not. I do think it's going to be like back and forth. I'm kind of hoping it's going to be, I want it to be like fast paced. I don't want it to be slow and draggy, as those kind of books don't hold my attention. But yeah, I'm really intrigued by this one. I certainly will give a shot. If it isn't for me, then I'm not going to continue reading it. But yeah, I don't actually honestly think I've seen anyone on BookTube read this book. So if not, maybe I'm the first. So that one. And then I've been waiting to get this edition for the book of this book for ages. I know there's so many editions out there, and you know there's been a few that I thought, ooh, but when I saw that this particular one was out, I was like, no, I want this because it's got illustrations, and I just think it's pretty and it fits my kind of vibe, especially in my room because I like this particular colour. But I'm going to be reading The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. This is the illustrated anniversary edition. So it's this beautiful, just like grey colour with a bit of gold. We've got these beautiful stenciled edges, and then it's like grey there. And then it's absolutely beautiful end plates. And I will show you the other side as well. Beautiful, beautiful. And then the actual cover itself is just this stunning grey with flowers on. But it does have illustrations in. I don't want to spoil it. Where are they now? That there is a section in the book where we've got proper like illustrations, but then we've also got the black and white illustrations as well. So I've been wanting this for ages, and when I saw there was this edition, I was like, nope, this one's for me. So I pre-ordered it, and when it came, I was like, yeah, I am reading this as soon as I can. So I definitely am really looking forward to this book. I know a lot of people are up and down with this, but I kind of feel like this is my vibe. I've got a feeling this might actually make me cry. Despite some of the things I've heard, I'm thinking, oh, this might actually hit home for me. But yeah, I'm so excited for this one. Then on to the other lot. So again, in the dark academia vibes, I recently got this book in my horror one-off subscription box with a box of stories, which I'll link that video down below. And when I read the blurb of this book, I was like, oh my god, I really need to read this. This is just up my alley at the minute. So I'm going to be reading The Secrets of Dracliff Grange School by Kim Newman. And basically, it's strange happenings in a school for unusual girls. We follow Amy, who has been found sleeping on the ceiling, and her mum decides to ship her off to a school called Dracliff Grange in Somerset. It looks like a regular boarding school, but then Amy learns that Dracliff girls are special, the daughters of criminal masterminds, outlaw scientists, and master magicians. Several of the pupils also have special gifts like Amy's, and when one of the girls in the dormitory is abducted by a mysterious group of black hoods, Amy forms a secret superpowered society called the Moth Club to rescue their friend. So yeah, it's obviously got the dark academia vibes in the sense that it is a boarding school. We've obviously got the supernatural elements in here, which I'm really, really here for. And it's also got a thriller involved as well in regards to finding their friend and all of that. So I am so excited for this. I really, really hope it is like gonna give me the 4 or 5 star vibes that I am seeing with this book. Like, I hope it's not a flop, but I'm really, really excited for this. Like, the blurbs on here is utterly wonderful, master storytelling, glorious, and an intoxicating read. I think I'm gonna love this. I hope I do. So yeah, I'm reading this, and just look, like, it's got such a creepy cover on there as well. So yeah, I'm reading that. Let's put that one back up there. On to more dark academia vibes. I will be reading Bunny by Mona Awad. Everyone goes on about this book. Everyone loves this book. Sydney herself raves and raves about this book. So does Chloe from Books of Chloe, and I'm like, I need to see what the fuss is about. So again, dark academia. We are following Samantha Heather Mackey, might be Mackie, who's an outsider in a small, highly selective MFA program at Warren University. In fact, she's utterly repelled by the rest of her fiction writing cohort, a clique of unbearably twee-rich girls who call each other Bunny. But then the bunnies issue her an invitation, and Samantha finds herself inexplicably drawn to their front door, across the threshold, and down a rabbit hole. Blending sharp satire with fairy tale horror, Bunny is a spellbinding trip of a novel from one of fiction's most original new voices. A lot of people say this is weird as fuck, and I really am here for that. So yeah, I'm really excited for this. It's obviously got a horror sort of plot in here as well, which fits nicely because I'm still in the mood to read spooky books. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this. I hope I am one of the many who enjoy this and not the few who don't get it at all. So yeah. Then I also want to read Slade House by David Mitchell. This is a haunted ghost story. I saw someone mention this in one of the many Discord group chats I'm in, and it sounded really good, so I ended up requesting it from the library. It's a little short book. It's only 231 pages. No, I'm lying. 233 pages. But yeah, it's to do with a house called Slade House, and yeah, it's creepy basically. So yeah, it's a little short book, but I think this is going to be quite nice to just sneak in between like big chunky books. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. And lastly, I'm finally going to try and read The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. So I love The Starless Sea. It's one of my favourite books of last year, and I am tempted to do a reread in December just because I really do love that book, and it's been a while since I read it, and I just feel like I need to go back into that world because I can't fully remember it now. I just know I love it. But I really wanted to try The Night Circus because everyone says a lot of people love this book more than The Starless Sea, and a lot of people love both, and some people don't love this. So I'm intrigued. I love this cover. This is like this edition, but I just love the cover. The writing is absolutely massive, so I'm here for that. But yeah, I'm intrigued to see what this is about. I do like her writing style, so if it's the same as what The Starless Sea was like, then I think I'm going to love this. But yeah, I'm a bit apprehensive with this one because it's a book that I have constantly put off because I'm worried I'm not going to enjoy it as much as I did with Starless Sea. But I'm kind of feeling like, you know what, I probably might love it exactly the same or more so, or you know, if I don't love it, I don't love it. But yeah, I'm finally going to read this and I hope I enjoy it. The next lot of books I want to talk to you about is the books in the readathon that I'm participating in, and this readathon is Game of Tomes Readathon, which basically is a Game of Thrones readathon in other words. So you have a quest to go on. So this is a sort of like origin story quest. There is a main one happening, which I think's next year. So I definitely want to do the main one as well. So this is like the starter one. But this is run by Dasha over at Mystic Pages, Ray from Bookmark Chronicles, and Robin from Robin Reads. And basically you have an origin story and you choose which paths you want to go on. So there is a few paths basically. So you have, let me just get to it. You have the path where you continue to go on to King's Landing. You've got a path to go to Targaryen Hair. You've got a task to Castle Rock, or you can go to Winterfell. So I absolutely love the Stark family in Game of Thrones, so I knew full well I was going to be going and doing that one. And so that is the team I am personally on. So I'm just going to go through that prompt, none of the others, because we'll be here for ages. So the first prompt, which is for everyone, so everyone is participating, everyone has this prompt. So this is Crossroads Inn, and this is a group prompt, so it's for everyone, like I said, and it's read an anticipated book. And for that, this is the most anticipated book I wanted to read for ages, but I didn't like the price of it. However, I decided to treat myself to this book because I've had a rotten time lately, and I was like, no, I'm going to treat it for me. So finally, I'm going to read Rhapsodic, there we are, by Laura Thalassa, and this is the Bargainer series book 1. I've really wanted to read this for so long. I know it's sort of a fantasy romance, it's quite dark. So yeah, I've had nothing but good things about this book, and honestly I have a feeling that if I really love this book, which I probably will, I'm going to want to buy the rest of the series. So if that's the case, my poor bank balance. But yeah, this is the most anticipated book for me. I have really wanted to read this for so long, since I probably started my Bookstagram, to be honest. But it is quite a lot of money for this book. I tried looking elsewhere for cheaper, but to be honest, even the cheaper books are still quite expensive. So yeah, like I said, I decided to actually just treat myself to it. But yeah, I'm very excited. It's 407 pages long, and I just can't wait to be in this world. I've heard it's quite smutty, so yes to that. So that's what I'm reading for Crossroads Inn, which is a prompt read an anticipated book. Next prompt is for the quest to head to Winterfell. So this is the start prompts, and the second prompt is the twins, and that is to read a book that has 2 words in the title. I was originally going to read a thriller, but then I was like, do you know what? I want to read this book. I have started reading this book before, but I just wasn't vibing with it. I wasn't in the right mood for it. But I'm, like I said, I'm in a dark academia mood, and I was like, do you know what? I really think I'm going to enjoy this book because I'm in the right mood for it now. So I'm going to read Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. 2 words. It's a dark academia book, but I think I read about 100 pages. I have a feeling I was up to chapter... Yeah, I think I got up to chapter 7, which was 114 pages. So I did read quite a bit of it last year. I just didn't continue with it because I wasn't in the right mood. But I'm in the mood for this. So we are in Yale. We follow Galaxy Alex Stern, who is a dropout and a sole survivor of a horrific unsolved crime. Alex was hoping for a fresh start, but she goes to Yale and she is being tasked to monitor Yale's secret societies, which is notorious haunts of the rich and wonderful. Basically, this is like a supernatural dark academia book. There's got a lot of dark stuff in here. It's got quite, when I remember reading a bit, it was quite spooky at times. You can't see it, but I have a crow that's on my roof, and I just can see its head poking down, and now it's just moved, and all I can see is its tail feathers. Oh, random. But yeah, I'm going to read this. I'm hoping, because I'm in the right mood for it now, I'm going to love it. Oh my god, what is it doing? Yeah, sorry, I'm getting distracted. So yeah, I'm going to read that for the twins, which is read a book with 2 words in title, and hopefully I will like it this time. And then the last prompt is Winterfell, so I have headed to the destination I need to be, and that prompt is read a book with wintry vibes. Now, I have a lot of books that have got wintry vibes, and I've got a few Christmassy books. However, I want to save them for December. So I've gone for this book that I recently bought. I was hoping to read it for October, but as you probably can tell, with the whole theme of me not finishing books, I didn't get the chance to read it or anything in that sense. So I'm going to be reading The Haunting Season, which is ghostly tales for long winter nights. So it's 8 authors, and these 8 authors are Bridget Collins, Laura Purcell, Elizabeth McNeil, Imogen Hermes Gouard, Natasha Pulley, Jess Kidd, Kieran Millwood Hargrave, and Andrew Michael Hurley. And so there's 8 short stories in here. They're all based in like winter. So we've got a blend of cozy and a blend of sinister, and yeah, it's just like little sort of strange happenings going on. So we have a story of Covent Garden Christmas market to the frosty moors of Yorkshire, from a country estate with a dreadful secret to a London mansion where a beautiful girl lies frozen in death. These are stories to make your hair stand on end, send shivers down your spine, and to serve as your indispensable companion to the long nights of winter. So curl up, light a candle, and fall under the spell of the haunting season. So it's certainly got the winter vibes. It's also got a really nice cozy feeling sense in there. So I'm going to pick that because it's quite a short book as well. It's beautiful, by the way. And I kind of just feel like, because I'm still in like the spooky vibe, that this will give me the spooky vibe feels that I want. So literally it's just 3 books for this readathon. And it is a month-long one. I'm honest, I'm sure it's a month-long one. I have to check now because I might be completely wrong. I think it is. I think it is. It sounds like it is. But I'm going to have to check because I don't want to like lie to you. And I think it's month-long, or it's like the first couple of weeks. Let me find it. Oh no, okay, I lie. It's not a month long. It's running from November the 1st to the 14th. So, okay, in that sense, I'm going to probably have to read the readathon books first, not Kingdom of the Cursed. Boo, but never mind. But yeah, that is my November TBR. It's 14 books and they are quite doable for me. If I read all those 14 books, then that's brilliant. But like I said, I am going to do it as a mood read. So if I don't fancy that book when I get to it, then I will just pick something from my shelf that I'm in a mood for. So that is a rough estimate of what I want to read, but it might not be when I do my wrap up, but you never know. I'm also going to try and do some more reading vlogs. I really do like doing them, and I've got more time on my hands to now do them and not have to worry about tour books and all that. So I certainly think I'm going to do some cozy reading vlogs, especially when I don't have my daughter, and just have like fairy lights on, candles on, and just get snuggly and read a book or two for the readathons. I'm not reading vlogs, sorry. I'm not going to do it where I try to read like so many books, because I've completely failed doing that. So I think I'm just going to make them like, you know, read two and see if I read them both. But yeah, that's my TBR. If you've read any of the books, let me know your thoughts on them. And yeah, if you also fancy buddy reading any of these books with me, please let me know in the comments, and you know, I can sort something out, because I love buddy reading with people, because it also makes me actually read a bit more. But yeah, anyway, thank you for watching, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.